Tell me if you look bad, I didn't introduce Catherine. Who's with me. Catherine is Representative Lehner.
Thank you. I am very, very pleased to be able to work on this important piece of legislation with Senator Carey Miller and Representative Newcomb. When I ran for the Ohio legislature, golly, it seems like it was 10 years ago now, it was a little over 12 months ago. One of the issues that I ran on was the whole issue around home health care versus nursing home, the lack of balance that we had here in the state. The fact that we were actually 48th at that point in home health, nursing home utilization for home health care. And therefore, I was very surprised when in HB1 where we suddenly were putting caps back on the passport program, and I could not understand the logic behind that, because we know that home health care is much less expensive to the state than nursing home care. And as I pushed it, I tried to find out what the logic of that, and basically what I was told is that by making a choice between nursing home care, if you didn't have the choice, that people were choosing to do nothing, they were going to stay in their home without passport rather than enter a nursing home, which makes sense for the people who are still at that point where they actually have a choice to make, but it doesn't make any sense for those folks that are going to enter nursing home care regardless of what you do. So while we were saving money by keeping people off the system altogether, for those people who were coming onto the system and could not access home health care, it made no sense. And the Home First program is going to help alleviate that error that was created through HB1. So hopefully this legislation with bipartisan support it has is going to fly through both chambers fairly quickly, and more of our seniors can be able to stay in the comfort of their own home at much less cost to the state of Ohio.
And now I'm call up Cindy Barson, who's Executive Director, and we're going to take after she does the introduction, we'll take questions. So I'm also going to ask Suzanne Shelton, who kind of helped us draft it, to come up as well. And when we get questions, she'll be able to ask the ones that Cindy, come on up and please make your introductions.
I'm Cindy Farson, Director of the Central Ohio Area Agency on Aging and Chairman of our Legislative Committee at the Ohio Association of Area Agencies on Aging. Juana Patton is our President from Mansfield. Pam Chura is here from Rio Grande. Clark Ritchie is our Association Director. We are so excited about this bill. Senator Carey, Senator Miller, Representative Lehner, Representative Newcomb, all have agreed to support this as a bipartisan issue. Senator Carey has been a long time supporter of home care services in Ohio. And I think the bipartisan nature of it really reflects the common sense nature of this bill, which is why should someone enter a nursing home when they can receive care at home for a third of the cost? I have with me today Mr. and Mrs. Gary and Billy Chapin from Orient, and their father, who's 94, recently used Home First to come home from a nursing home. He had been in there for an extended period of time, and they found out about Passport and were able to come home very quickly with the Home First program by using some help with adjusting with the stairs and personal care, and they are delighted to have him home. This is a situation that can happen with people, if this bill passes, with people that are referred to us from Adult Protective Services, that self-neglect cases where it's very extreme, where a nursing home may be the only choice. If we can get Passport services in there, we avoid nursing homes. People coming out of hospitals who would have to wait in nursing homes for the waiting list in Passport now would be able to go directly to Passport if possible. So these are very common sense solutions to a very important problem for families, and we appreciate the support of both parties on this bill.
At this time, we'll open up for any questions.
Carey, how much money did you say this is going to save per year?
I don't know if you have the
Can you
exact.
get it, Mike?
You have the.
I'm sorry.
How much did I say?
Can someone get a mic and say it?
I'm sorry. The question was, how much are we going to save a year?
I guess we could go by past experience. When we first did the Home First provisions, we saved about $60 million, I think, the first year. And so We don't have an exact figure, I mean, we're not, we will save some money, just depends on how many people take advantage of it. If, I think it's reasonable to say that we could save 60 million. That would be probably a conservative estimate. We could do this time.
How many, what's the potential for the number of people that could benefit from the legislation specifically? Do you have any?
Suzanne, do you want to give you probably have a better idea than I do.
You know, the numbers for passport we can estimate, but let me tell you that in December, last year we had about 100 people in Central Ohio that accessed passport a year. After the budget, that number went to 78, which was a manageable number with a waiting list. In December, that number goes down to 42, which is less than half the number of people that we naturally would enroll into passport. So the percentage of those people on the waiting list, last time it was about 20% entered a nursing home unnecessarily. So that's what we hope to avoid, that 20% of people that would end up in a nursing home unnecessarily. And I'm sorry that I don't exactly have that number. Do you have a number? But it is a flowing, you know, people, the numbers change. How many people need nursing home care? How many people can live at home? So they are estimates, but I just wanted to give you the real life example from Columbus, what happens in that situation.
I think too, we worked on all of us worked on the bill. We tried to narrow it so we weren't expanding the pool of people. We tried to narrow it to people that are actually at imminent risk of going into a nursing home. So it's not everybody that's in the hospital. It's just those that are at imminent risk of going into a nursing home that would be eligible under this legislation. So even if it's, for me, even if the number of people, you know, the amount of money we save is important, but if it helps 100 people, it's worth it because it helps those 100 people live the life that have the choices that they want, and it saves the state money. I think it's going to be much more than that, but it's really hard to project what those numbers are. I think it would be significant that we'll probably understand through the testimony, through the legislative process, we might get a better handle on that number. We don't have a clear handle on other than we know that it will be significant.
Senator, so if you provide an example of who would be captured under this bill that would not currently be captured under the current law, the eligible for this program, how is that really clear on how the expansion is?
Well, right now, for example, the chaplain's father came home on home first. He was in a nursing home, so he could skip to the front of the line and come home. This bill will allow people that are referred to us from Adult Protective Services in extreme situations have access. It will help people coming out of hospitals. And it will help people whose doctors say within 30 days they see nursing home placement. It will also help people in assisted living. As they spend down, they can no longer afford assisted living, they are eligible for nursing home care the next day. Now, you know, so for those people, they can get on the assisted living waiver rather than going into a nursing home, spending time in a nursing home, maybe coming back to assisted living. It avoids that, moving people around when they're just going to end up back in assisted living anyway. I think it takes some common sense approaches, and that 20% of people who last time ended up in a nursing home and were on the waiting list, we hope we would avoid